Hare Krishna, we're sitting again with my good friend Tony. Hare Krishna, Tony. Are you not on the screen today?
I'm not on the screen. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, anyway. So we're talking about how Lord Gauranga came just over 500 years ago and began this Sankirtan movement, the congregational chanting. And he started firstly by chanting in the house of one of his associates called Srivas Thakur. And they would chant every night in private. It wasn't open to the public. And they would chant the whole night, chanting Hare Krishna, and dancing ecstatically. But at that time, when Lord Chaitanya appeared, there were a lot of people who were against devotion. Even so-called Hindu people. And they complained. They went to the magistrate, who was a Muslim, called Chand Kazi. And they said, we don't want this chanting, it's disturbing, And the Muslim magistrate sent some of his police constables to the house, and they beat some of the devotees, they broke the drum, the mridanga. So when Lord Chaitanya heard about this, he decided, all right, now what we do, we will go out into the streets. And thousands and thousands of people came out on the streets at night with lamps, torches, and began marching to the house of this Chandkazi, this magistrate, chanting Hare Krishna. So that was the first time that he organized this public chanting. And the Chandkazi, the magistrate, became very afraid. Can you imagine? Thousands and thousands of devotees coming. And he hid in his house because he thought they were going to kill him, But Lord Chaitanya came and said, no, call this magistrate down here. I want to speak with him. And so he called him down, and they began to talk. And then this magistrate, the Chandkazi, he told him something very extraordinary. He said that after he had sent his policemen to destroy the drums and beat the devotees, he had a dream. And in that dream, there's an incarnation of Krishna called Nrsingadev. He's half man, half lion. Very powerful. We pray to him every day for protection. And this Nrsingadev came in the dream. And he said to this Chandkazi, he said, you don't interfere with this Sankirtan movement of Lord Chaitanya. You don't do this. And when he told Lord Chaitanya this, he opened his shirt, and on his chest were nail marks from Lord Nrsingadev, who scratched him, in the dream. Not in the dream, he actually appeared. So this Sankirtan movement was then started by Lord Chaitanya. And this is the way that we get free of this illusion. Because Tony and I were just talking about illusion, thinking that I'm this body, being asleep. And this song of Bhaktivinoda Thakur, we're talking about Jeev Jago, wake up sleeping soul, is a song about Lord Chaitanya going out into the streets of Navadvip, that was where he appeared, and chanting. And the song goes like that, Jeev Jago, Gaura Chanda Bole, that Lord Gauranga is calling out to everyone, wake up, sleeping soul, wake up. Jeev Jago, Gaura Chanda Bole. How long have you been sleeping in the lap of the witch called Maya? So souls are sleeping. They're under a spell of illusion. That illusion is very thick. My guru gave an example once that Just like if you use a stove for many years and you don't clean it, then you get this baked on grease and grime. It's really thick, you know. And my guru said that even if you take a jackhammer, you can't cut that grease and grime thick. You know, it's so thick, yeah. He was talking about the illusion that the soul in this world, the conditioned soul has, is so thick because you had that illusion for countless lifetimes. There are 8,400,000 species of life, insects, birds, animals, reptiles. We've been through all of those, and in all of those forms of life, you have the same illusion that I'm this body. When you're a cat, you think, when you have a cat body, you think I'm a cat. When you have a snake body, you think I'm a snake. You're not. When you have a human body, you think I'm a human being. You're not. You're not the body, you're the soul. So that illusion is so thick that, as my guru said, not even a jackhammer would cut it loose. But the holy name, the chanting of the holy names, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. That is what we call transcendental sound vibration. That is Krishna himself. And what does it do? It wakes up the soul. So you are cured of this disease of illusion. And you understand what is your business. Because people, everybody's going around thinking, oh, I'm a lawyer, or I'm a pilot, or I'm a scientist, right? So they get up every morning and that's what they do. They do the work of a lawyer or a scientist or a pilot. They think, this is who I am, that's my business. That's my business. But what are they doing? They're actually wasting their time. Because what is my situation? My situation is I'm inside this material body. I'm suffering birth, old age, disease, and death. What am I doing about that problem? Being a lawyer and a scientist and a pilot, how's that going to solve the problem? So you're actually wasting your human life. Because in human life you can understand what the problem is. When you're in a dog body or a cat body, you cannot understand that I'm getting old, dying, disease, birth after birth. You don't know, and you can't understand anything about God. But in human body, you can understand. So if you just think, well, I'm a lawyer, I'm a housewife, I'm this, I'm that. Let me do these things, because you forget that I'm the soul and the servant of Krishna. You're wasting your whole life. Lifetime after lifetime, you're wasting your life. So that's why they say this human form of life is such a valuable asset, because you've got the opportunity now to wake up from the illusion and engage in Krishna's loving service and solve the problems of life, So it's a great tragedy if you don't do that, if you misuse it. And if you do that, you run the risk of going back into the animal species. So in this age, Kali Yuga, the age of quarrel and hypocrisy, people are so disinclined to spiritual life that they need a very simple process to wake up. And that simple process is chanting the holy name, whether you do it personally, japa, and congregationally. And in this way we can find peace, we can find satisfaction. I was just thinking the other day that the spiritual universe, above this, far, far beyond this material universe, is the spiritual universe, filled up with many planets. All those planets are self-effulgent. There's no need of sun, moon, or electricity. And there's no birth, old age, disease, or death. And that spiritual universe is called Vaikuntha. What does Vaikuntha mean? It means no anxiety. No anxiety. Nobody's in anxiety there. Nobody. Because everyone is fully conscious and in love with the Supreme Divine Person, Sri Krishna, and enjoying with him. Whereas in this world, everyone's in anxiety. Doesn't matter who you are. Yesterday I was in the traffic and they had maybe some big politician, and they had this like fleet of cars with the lights flashing, as they were driving, and everyone was pulling over, and he's now a big person, right? And everybody must pull over and give way. And he was probably going to the airport here to get on a plane to fly somewhere. But can you say he's not in anxiety just because he's in a big flashy car and everybody's pulling over? No, he's just as much in anxiety as anyone else. So nothing can save you from an anxiety in this world. No position, no money, no anything, because the laws of nature are going to get you. Birth, old age, disease, and death. So how can you not be in anxiety, yeah? So what's the cure? The cure is to wake up from the illusion, stop just thinking that I'm a lawyer, I'm a housewife, I'm a pilot, and realize, no, I'm a servant of Krishna, and therefore what's my business? It's to serve Krishna. I don't have any other business. He's my only master. I'm not working for two people. I'm Krishna. And in that way, you become relieved of anxiety. Even in this world, you can be relieved of anxiety. I remember Prabhupada, one of our great spiritual masters, said like that devotees work. It's not that they do nothing. But they're not in anxiety, because they know that Krishna is looking after them, Krishna will provide. Just like Prabhupada came and opened so many temples, and so much money needed for that. Can you imagine? To buy the temples, to maintain the temples, and so many devotees. And work is required. But the difference is that money is coming, but without the anxiety. Because you know that Krishna is going to provide. You just carry on with your devotional service. You hear and chant about Krishna. You read the books. You offer your food. And Krishna will take care of whatever you need. Whereas in the material world, people are in anxiety all the time. Am I going to get enough money for this? And it doesn't matter how much money you have. You're always thinking you're going to lose it. Somebody's going to steal it from you, right? Security systems, big security systems around your house, because you want to protect all your assets. So there's no freedom from anxiety in the material world. It's not possible. So this is education. To get out, and just like you're going out, giving out some flyers, trying to offer people books. This is education. This is real education, giving people knowledge that I'm not this body. I'm the servant of Krishna. What am I doing here? Just chasing money all day. What is the use of that, The economic problem you can solve very simply, just like in the Vedic culture thousands of years ago. There were no big skyscraper buildings and factories or anything like that. No, each person had a small piece of land, maybe a cow and an ox. And they do little farming for some months of the year and barter. Yeah? Economic problem solved. And what they're doing the rest of the time, they're doing chanting, hearing and chanting about Krishna. This is economic problem solved.
Yeah.
So this anxiety, chasing money and worry, this is because of forgetfulness of Krishna. There's no other reason. Krishna's providing. There's a shortage of anything. Just like an elephant, it needs 40 kilograms of grass every day to eat. Foliage. Who's providing that? Krishna's providing? They don't go to the office? Who's providing? There's an animal, I think an orangutan, a big monkey. There's a special kind of nut that he's got to have for his teeth. And who's providing? And he doesn't go to the office. Krishna's providing. So why should Krishna not provide for human beings? If you forget Krishna, that's another thing. Then there'll be shortage, then there'll be anxiety. But if you remember Krishna, why should he not provide for you? So people are foolish. They struggle so hard to try and get money, forgetful of God, and they complain, why am I struggling so much? But they're struggling because they forget who's the source of everything, who's providing everything. They disregard him. This is called yagya. Yagya means to sacrifice, to pay your spiritual dues, just like even your electricity. If you don't pay it, they switch it off. So the same thing, if we don't perform yagya or activity for the pleasure of Krishna, then there's shortages, even shortage of rain. Why? Because there's no worship of the Lord. So this is intelligence, instead of working like a dog your whole life, making a whole lot of money, and then dying like a dog, forgetful of Krishna, nothing goes with you. What is that? That's not education, that's not intelligent, and you've not solved the problem of life. So this devotional service, this Krishna consciousness is giving people unbelievable relief from the hard struggle, provided they're willing to just accept and listen and hear and, chant and take food offered to Krishna, very simple things. So if we, in our daily life, can do that, Prabhupada said like that, whoever you meet, tell them about Krishna. You got one little flyer? Give him a flyer. Oh, you know about Krishna? No, Krishna is the name of God. That's perfect, He's a big scientist, a dentist, a lawyer, but he's fool number one because he's never heard of Krishna. And you might be on the street, but you know about Krishna. So who's educated? Him or you? Yeah? So if you can share that, wow, that's the best charity work of all, And then your life's got meaning. Just like you're saying, you get up in the morning, you got meaning, you got purpose now. What's that purpose? To understand who I am. I'm servant of Krishna. I may be on the street, but that doesn't change the fact that I can serve Krishna. I can live in a big penthouse, eating fillet steak, but if I'm forgetful of Krishna, my life is a failure. My life is a failure. I haven't understood ABC, that I'm not this body. So, just like we're sitting now, we're talking about Krishna, How wonderful is that? How wonderful is that? We've got time. I'm not running to the office back and down chasing money. I've got some time to talk about Krishna. Why? Because we want it. Krishna, if you want to, He'll give you the opportunity to stop struggling and just engage in devotional service and sharing it with others. He'll give you that opportunity. That's what He wants. And He's the Supreme Lord. So anything is possible, provided you want, if you want it. If you want to chase money, all right, chase money all day. You decide. Hare Krishna.